1969. And as you've heard me say before, I wasn't even born yet. Our guest here today wasn't even thought of yet as well. But if you think you're seeing double from a previous state championship review video, you are, but kind of not so much. If you would, tell us who you are.
My name's Alex Horn. I started wrestling in 7th grade. I started a little bit later than others, but when I took to wrestling, I really liked it, really enjoyed it. I can't remember if I placed my 7th grade year. I don't think I did, but I placed my 8th grade year, placed second, and then wrestled all through my high school years. I placed my freshman year, placed 7th my freshman year, placed 3rd my sophomore year and 3rd my junior year, and then I got hurt my senior year and didn't get to finish that tournament.
And as fate would have it, you were a senior in 2019, so 50 years removed from what we're going to be watching to when you were a senior. Now, I made reference to, if you think you're seeing double, you're right, but you're kind of not. Your twin brother, Matt, has already been on the channel. Of course, he was a state champion 2019, 195-pound weight class, one of the most exciting big man matches you'll ever see. You unfortunately ended up with an injury. There's no doubt if you wouldn't have won it, you would have been in the finals. There's no question. You got an injury to another wrestler on the channel, Nico Bussell from Christian County. It wasn't nothing on purpose. It was just part of wrestling. But we're going to be doing 1969 state championship review video. And what about the 1969 years is there's only 12 weight classes. I'm going to go over them again just so people haven't maybe seen the other videos. We got 95, 103, 112, 120, 127, 133, 138, 145, 154, 165, 175, and heavy. Now the lighter weights, they're pretty close to what we have now. But it's a big gap going from 175 pounds to heavyweight. A big gap. And of course, in your high school career, you and your brother both were 195 or 220, and you would have been behind a 2-time state champion in Byron Pierce, so you may not have even got to step on the mat. So the 175-pound heavyweight gap was huge. Really, really big gap. But we're going to watch the heavyweight match today, and it is...
Styles of heavyweight then and now are totally different too.
Oh, yeah. And that's why we're going to watch it and talk along through it. We got Jim Haek from Fort Campbell. It's Haek. If I'm mispronouncing your name, I do apologize. And then versus Bernie Head from North Hardin. Now, North Hardin wins the team state title in 1969. We have reached out to a couple of North Hardin guys. But I do want to say the Kentucky School for the Blind, former head coach Kenneth Jones reached out. He posted some of the Kentucky School for the Blind videos we've done so far on the alumni page. And we've heard from several members of the Kentucky School for the Blind wrestling team and some of the guys we've actually done videos with, some of their family. A gentleman named Whitehouse reached out and said that he had never gotten to see his dad, Jim Whitehouse, wrestle, and that was the 103-pound state championship, and it was just phenomenal. I posted it. I got so many likes, so many shares on my social media about that. Just being able to share this with the world, with you guys, the fans of wrestling. Maybe you knew one of these guys in high school, your neighbors with them, grew up with them, maybe they're no longer with us. Just being able to preserve this for everybody to see is, I take great joy in that. But Alex, kind of walk us through your wrestling style.
My wrestling style?
Now, when I say your wrestling style, you and your brother both were 195, 220s, but you were very agile. You played, of course, you currently, you and your brother both played on the defensive line for University of Pikeville, 3-year varsity letterman, and you are actually going to, before we go into your wrestling style, kind of talk to us about what your future is in college. What are you going to be doing?
Well, I hung my cleats up last year, and I'm going to help with the first year of the UPike wrestling team this year. I got with Coach Travis Mallow, and he helped me out a little bit, and he gave me the opportunity to help him this year and help him get the program started. But he's done a fantastic job so far, and I can't wait till we get started.
And that's, of course, you were, two-sport athlete in high school. You was on the state championship team as a sophomore, 2016. And, of course, you were on the state duals team, state championship team in 2019. But being able to play football in college and then go on while you're still in college, be like a graduate assistant?
Student assistant, yeah.
Student assistant coach. I mean, that's great that you're able to do that, and it's all thanks to, what your high school career was able to give and you're able to give back. But you and your brother both very agile, both for heavier weight.
Yeah.
You guys are both, you move very well. So kind of walk us through your style. Like, what was your bread and butter takedowns, your turns, your escapes?
Me and my brother was kind of different. He liked to sweep a whole lot, and he liked to rush a whole lot, and ankle picks and stuff. I like to do a little bit of double legs, and I love to throw. That was my favorite thing to do, was set up a throw and throw.
Mm-hmm. And of course, both of you guys, I've called you the fire hydrant brothers for years, because that's what it's like going out and trying to wrestle a fire hydrant. You can't bend an arm, you can't bend a leg, you can't take you guys down, and it's what was your senior year record? Do you remember?
I can't remember. I think I only lost 3 times.
And one of those was
both those. Yeah, both those was I lost to Nico and the first day, and then I lost to Brian Pratt when I dislocated my shoulder.
So you had two losses in the state tournament. Both of them was a result of injury.
Yep.
The other one, we don't remember.
I don't remember.
You're getting old on us, man.
Yeah,
You're getting old
can't
on
remember.
us. All right, well, we're going to put this video on. 1969 is going to be the heavyweight match. We're going to put it on, and we're going to let Alex kind of narrate what he sees. Right. You guys are seeing what we're seeing. We're at Louisville Trinity's gym, and we're on the Kentucky School for the Blind mat. And again, we have Jim Haek from Fort Campbell and Bernie Head from North Hardin. Let's do this. Now, of course, there's no original audio, so we're going to have to just narrate it for you. All right, now, you see a lot of this. Let's get back just a little bit. There we go. You see a lot of that. You see a lot of like on your knees, so it gets an easy takedown. You notice the ref, of course, you and your brother both referee. Referee's not wearing wristbands, and they just point at the wrestler. So we go out of bounds. Referee position. I do not know how much these guys weigh. The paper that we have from the KHSAA website doesn't say.
It says heavyweight, but I'd say probably we're looking at probably about 210 pounds.
I was going to say, they're not very big at all.
210, 215 pounds.
And it doesn't look like there's near fall counted in 1969 either.
Nope. Yeah, I didn't see no swipes.
And not just with this weight, but every weight we've done, there's hardly no offense on top. So he was trying to run a half right there. Trying for like an arm. Like an arm ride or like
he's going to stack himself, looks like. And
of course, they're wearing the full length singlet or full length tights.
No locking hands.
No locking hands then either.
Well, he's got it through the crotch anyway.
All right, we're out.
We're out, referee now.
He's trying for that arm breakdown again. Again, no offense. Now, something about you and your brother both is you guys are really good with the bar on the back. And Byron Pierce the same way. Of course, that's probably some of the best upper weights that the state's ever seen back to back to back. You, your brother, and Byron Pierce.
That was Byron's bread and butter move. If you got a bar on your back, it's more
over.
Likely over.
It's over. Matter of fact, it was in the front, the back, whatever. You were going to get turned. So he's trying to stand up. Of course, I doubt they're stalling here. He's just trying to peel the hands, right out of bounds. Stands up again. And not sure if they called him out of bounds, but we're back in the referee position. And he's
really working that. He's really working that arm.
He's tried that the whole match.
He hasn't tried to put it on his back yet.
Nothing. Bottom man's not working for an escape or a reversal or anything.
Got the head and the arm, and then he's got to try to work. He's got a tight waist on the other side.
Tight waist.
But he's not doing nothing really. crawling.
Yeah, that's one thing about all this.
Is that time?
I think that was the end of the period. Now, fortunately, it doesn't show the whatever, but it does. Like some of them, the camera's on a little bit longer, but we'll go ahead and imagine that was the end of the period.
Obviously, no stalling. It don't look like it.
And there's no counts. There you go. Turn in.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
About got away, didn't he?
About rolled through.
Go right back to that arm, head and arm.
All right.
Look, he's wrestling. It looks like he's wrestling Converse.
I think that's what they were wearing back then, was just pretty much whatever they had.
Yep.
Because each wrestler is a different type of shoe.
Yep.
Out of bounds.
Out of bounds.
Run the half right there.
He's getting backs.
He should be.
He should be getting backs.
He should be.
Essentially.
No.
No. Whether or not he awarded him, I have no idea.
Yeah, that's the... which we're not complaining, but the camera's on the action instead of like a wide shot, which, like I said, we're not complaining at all.
We're just commentating.
I don't think in all this series, I don't think I've seen somebody try the same move the whole time, like he's done with that arm.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now get to your feet. Get to your feet. There it is. Okay.
Oh. End of the period.
End of the period. Nice. Okay.
Oh, there was locking hands.
Yep. Now he did signal it, so he must have stopped it. So we do know that there was locking hands. I think that's the first time we've seen a penalty where they call locking hands, and he's done it right there again. Look like, yeah, he's got it again.
Locked hands.
He's trying for a switch. So we know we've got at least 3 points scored at least.
Yep.
Now whether or not they call for the backs, we don't know. But I mean,
no takedown so far either.
No, well the very first one.
The very first takedown. And he rode him out. No
offense to these guys. There's a half.
There
but
it is.
I mean, the heavyweights now would.
Oh. They're a lot more athletic. I feel like, especially in high school.
Oh yeah.
You can tell these guys are football players.
Yeah, even like you and your brother, even at 195 and 220, would probably mow through this class. Like I said, no offense to these guys, just how much far wrestling has evolved. All right, get that half in deep, son, and walk to the head. Top guy's way too high.
If he just keep walking forward.
Yep, walk to the head.
Well, if he circled, it'd be over.
Walk.
Keep going. Yep, both of them have Converse on.
Yep, sure do. All right, now, if you notice, he gave that half up. I'm not sure if that was something they were taught. They just didn't know how to finish back then. He's like a 3/4 now.
Yeah. I can tell one thing, though, about the heavyweights. They love working the arm.
Mm-hmm.
They love working the arm. From these two guys, I don't know how everybody else was, but
unfortunately, this is all we have to go from 19. Unless somebody can provide a year from the 60s that I don't have. All right, there you go. This is one. We're neutral.
Ooh.
That's it. He won. So, maybe it shows does not show the score. I'm sorry. So, Jim Haek from Fort Campbell defeated Bernie Head from North Hardin. Of course, we know North Hardin goes on to win the team state title. But Alex, you've had a chance to watch some heavyweight wrestling from 1969. Kind of give us your thoughts.
Very different, especially like the heavyweight that I've seen. Like heavyweights nowadays are more big, play the long game. These guys seem to get after it, but they're a lot smaller. Mm-hmm. Very, very small.
Yeah, very. Again, going from 175 to heavyweight, and according to our friend George Turan, 1972 he's state champion from Hopkinsville, which I do want to say George was the only wrestler that I had a thumbnail for. I didn't have a photo. I was able to go to the archive, the KHSAA, the Athlete, the magazine archive, and I found a photo of George. It is black and white, but I did update his thumbnail. So at least can now have a photo for George. But he said heavyweight was unlimited. So you could have somebody, weighing, God knows how much. But these guys look to be very undersized for heavyweights. Even
nowadays.
for nowadays, and even back then, like I said, they don't look to be like crazy tall. They don't look to look to be. I can't say they're probably over, like you said, 210, 220 pounds at the most. So, and now that's a weight class, and like I said, there's only 12. We got 14 now, but just how many? I'm not saying that there's a lot of schools, because according to some of you guys have asked about this. According to I got it from the athlete from the KHSAA. I printed this off. There was only 24 teams represented at the 1969 state tournament. Wow. Now we're up to about 120 teams in 2022. So of course the sport's growing, but the wrestling in this time was very basic. You didn't see nothing flashily, and I would say that the wrestler from Fort Campbell that ran that arm ride, I would say that was probably about the only turn that he probably knew. Yep. And not just him, but just, the bigger guys in general, because, I mean, it would seem like you learn a good turn back then, you can hold somebody. Oh, yeah.
If you knew how to ride wrist or anything.
Exactly. Or you knew a good half like that. Good half. Trying to run that arm.
Especially that tight waist. I think, was it the guy from Fort Campbell or the other guy that ran the tight waist most of the match?
It was the guy from Fort Campbell. Fort Campbell. He ran that tight waist with that arm, trying to run that head and arm ride. Yep. But it was great to get this on the channel. Oh, yeah. This is the 6th video. We've got 6 more to do. I've got some I don't want to say older guys, but I've got some senior wrestlers from the 70s and 80s lined up to do the remainder. I'm really excited to get their opinion and to get, how wrestling was. And one thing that this doesn't show, because they were always down, but in the 1969 videos, but on the other videos we've got, is the wrestler started on the 10-foot circle. Yep. Instead of the referee lines like we do now, the red and green start lines, they started on the 10-foot circle. And if you notice, no headgear. Nope. Headgear was optional. I'm not exactly sure what year it was made mandatory, but headgear was optional. So I would say some of those guys had concussions and didn't realize it. I'd say they probably had some cauliflower ears and didn't know what was going on. But it's just great to be able to see this, have it, and be able to share it with the world. Any closing thoughts about 1969?
It was a different year, wasn't it?
A different era. Different era. Well, again, thank you to Alex Horn for coming today and doing this video with me. Really appreciate it. And it's good to get a person who would have wrestled these guys in the weight class he was in, as opposed to what we're watching on. And, you can say it. You probably would have.
I might be able to. I might have been able to.
Mm-hmm. You and your brother both. That would have been a fun wrestle off. You and your brother going for the heavyweight varsity spot.
It'd have been a boxing match.
That's what I'm saying. It'd have been a cage match or whatever.
Yeah.
That's all we got. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys on the mats.